Okay guys, today we're gonna look at some fundamental side control escapes. Yeah? Check out the full video to see the basics. Wait, you're actually watching? Oh, okay, so we're not gonna do bucket chokes. We have 2 videos on bucket chokes already. We're gonna do the basic side control escapes, guys. Come on, yeah? Attacking from the bottom in side control, not a good plan. I'm gonna show you some basic escapes. Now, first off, conceptual. In side control, it's not necessarily about weight. Now, of course, weight is important, yeah? The position actually in Portuguese, in Brazilian, is called 100 kilos, which is 100 kilograms, which is a lot of pounds, I guess. But I want to show you something. Look, if my partner puts all his weight on me, but no arms, he puts all his weight on, yeah, put all your weight, yes, put all the weight, yes, all the weight is on me, yes. I can easily move him and myself, and I'm out in a second. So the problem isn't only weight. Let me not say it's not just weight, but it's frames and wedges. We got to deal with the position, how he controls the underhook, my hip, etc. I'm going to show you some concepts, some escapes, but I also want to take into account the point system in jiu-jitsu. If I reguard and bring my feet back into the situation, so this is not the explanation, just real quick. If I get back to my guard in any form, I start attacking here, I score 0 points. Yeah? My partner can then pass again, score points again, etc. If I reverse my partner, now in any way I try to like trap, roll, and I reverse my partner, in most jiu-jitsu competitions, most, not all of them, I score 0 points. But I'm now on top. So which one is better, reversing or reguarding? Well, it depends. Yeah, I'm going to show you several escapes today. Choose the one you like. I think the big difference is MMA. We also teach MMA here. In MMA, you want to get on top. Anytime you want to get on top, you want to stand up. In jiu-jitsu, you might be very comfortable playing your guard. Let's just get to it. So the first escape, most basic escape, but please don't skip this. I might show you a few details you don't know yet. So we're going to start off in a basic side control. Now there's tons of variations where my partner drops all the way on his right hip. Just drop all the way on your right hip, extend your right leg. Yeah, like so, yes, or hip on a hip. So go back, please. Yes, and extend your right leg on my right hip. Yes, just go all the way down, sprawl out. Yeah, like so. Yeah, these are all variations. Yeah, I cannot cover all of them. Today we're just gonna focus when he's on 2 knees. Side control. But Tum, what if? Check out another video. Now, I wanna get my frames back in the equation. Now, of course, my partner isn't putting all the pressure in. It allows me to speak and explain to you guys. So we're gonna do it easy, and then we're gonna go harder and harder, yeah, and tune in more on the details. So first off, this underhook is very important. This gives my partner access to my body, but it also prevents him from me getting the underhook. If I were to get the underhook, I could go out and take his back. Now, a lot of people try to lock their hands in side control. Lock your hands, please. But now his base is also trapped if I try to roll him over. I also like to do what Bart is doing, is I use my left hand to cup the armpit, pull my partner in, like so his spine is twisted, and use that hand to base, or attack, or open up the gi if we're playing the gi, and leave myself a bit more space. So I keep the underhook tight, but I don't necessarily lock the hands. Now if I try to push my partner off, he's connected to me, so it's gonna be very hard, not just by weight, but by frames. Now there's no space for my knee in the hip, and there's no space for my elbow in the hip. So we're gonna do 2 frames. This one is gonna be very important, where I get my elbow in the hip, and I think most of you already know this, but stay tuned. Now the second one, I wanna get my hand to frame in front of his face. Now what a lot of beginners mess up is they either circle the arm and try to get here. Now, maybe for burger choke, sure, but my partner will go into arm triangles here, yeah, and he gets submission entry here. Or if you go in too open with the hand and you circle like this, he might go for an Americana. Now that's not a good high percentage submission here from the side control, but for the white belt tournaments, especially heavy classes, Americana from side control is still bread and butter. So I don't want you to open up here or circle in with the top of your arm. I want you to enter with the fist and just look at the position of my elbow, guys. My elbow stays tucked, and I enter. There is a slight risk of a wrist lock here, but let's ignore that for now, yeah? I control here. I'm not pushing my partner away. I just keep this frame here. If he pushes in, it's just stuck, yeah? Make some noise, please, Bart. Yeah, like this, yeah, nice. Now this elbow, I try to get it into his hip. Now let's first imagine I succeed, and then I'm gonna give you some tips how to succeed better. As my elbow drops in, I keep the frame on the hip. I don't have to go all the way deep because my arm will bend. My strongest frame is here on the hip. Most people put 2 feet on the mat, make a strong AB where my hip bumps into his arm. His arm stays there, and I make space. I'm not pushing my partner away. I just keep him in space, in this position, so my knee can enter and wedge in. I do not think this is the best way to do it, and if I can, I would only use 1 foot to AB, and I would keep this knee right in the socket of his hip, so I cannot enter. But as soon as I AB away, I will dip my knee in the socket of his hip. Look what happens. I AB and I dip it in. There was never a moment in time where there was space between us. If you first A-B, there is a second where my partner could just use his right hip to connect back to my hip again. So we go 1, he goes in, yeah, and I will never get my knee in. So that split second might just be a game changer for you, instead of using 2 feet to A-B hard, because this arm isn't that strong. Keep it tight, keep the arm really tight. Only with one hand, I can A-B and get enough space. Now, as I mentioned, this elbow goes in the socket of the hip. Now we're gonna turn a little bit towards the camera. And my knee goes into the far side hip. If you put the knee all the way through, that is good, and you get this strong connection, this V shape with this knee and elbow, that is good, but it's harder for now to extend with the leg because it's bent. If you keep the knee on the far side hip, put your hip towards my hip, such a strong frame. So open up a little bit so you can see. So here, I'm way stronger with the leg as opposed to here. If he now puts the hip in, my leg will bend. You see this? Which one is better? That depends on you, what you prefer. I'm just gonna show you both, and you choose. So keeping this here or all the way in. Now, as soon as I get this frame, yeah, we're still in easy mode, I now want to extend my back. So the mechanics beneath it are the A-B, and I want to extend my back. Now, this is where most beginners mess up. My hip is twisted in this direction, to my right. If my shoulder blades are now aligned to the ceiling, I have a twist in my spine, so hold your hands wide, hold them tight. If I now open my back and I extend, I cannot break his grips. If I push with my leg, yeah, eventually we'll hear a loud pop in the gym and my knee will be busted. So it's my back should open. Now, to get a strong hinge, I should align myself with the position of my hips. So my hips are there, my shoulder blades are now there. So what I do is I turn towards my hips, so hold your hands tight. And now I open up and the grip breaks. What happens after, I'll show you in a second. But I want you to understand, as I do this hinge, look, if I'm in a strong position, I can do a strong hinge if I'm straight, like a deadlift. But if I'm sideways and I want to grab a weight here and then hinge, I'm super weak. So as my hips are positioning to the right, I should also be on my side. Now, as a matter of fact, as a guard player, you should always want to ball up and never be flat on the floor. So if you can work your way with your frames to the side, you're way stronger to open your back here. Yeah, you're not pushing your partner away, you're opening your back instead of being with your shoulders to the ceiling. Now let's see a way to enter this side control escape if he has a tight position before everyone in the comments says, yeah, that will never work. Of course, we need to work how to get the space for the elbow. Now, we use the A-B as a mechanic, now we're going to use the bridge as a mechanic. So, my elbow is stuck. Let's go a bit backwards, please. Yes, my elbow is stuck. I cannot enter the side control. I'm going to use my bridge to create space. Now, the dangerous part about the bridge, as soon as both of my feet touch the mat, there's also a window of opportunity for my partner to step to knee on belly or to mount. So he will slide his knee all the way over. So when I bridge, he might just pop his knee over and go to mount. So I want you to be very aware of that. Use your bridge effectively, time it smart to enter with this elbow. What I want to do is I don't want to just bridge with the hip, because look what happens. Don't do anything. If I bridge with the hip, he isn't moving, even if my hip goes very strong up, because there's no hip-on-hip connection. But there's a second part of the bridge. It's not only hip, it's also the upper body. This part also bridges. So my bicep is bumping into his top body pressure, creating some space, lifting both our chests up in the air. So I'll do it slowly. As I'm here, both our chests go up in the air. And I'm on the side of my skull, basing with this bicep. Now I'm gonna drop down, and I'm just gonna beat him to it with my right elbow. As he falls down, this elbow is in position. Yeah, just rewind if you want to see it again. So I use my upper body to bridge and create space. We could also do that the other way around. Yeah, if we bridge this way and try to get space there. But it's a bit more dangerous with back exposure, and I'd rather use this to base here and go for an underhook escapes, which I'll show you later. So if my elbow is stuck and I cannot reach it in and I cannot get the grip in, I would start bridging, drop it in, then get the second hand, and now we're back to the same escape. Now let's add a small step to this escape. As soon as I start opening my back, as I showed you before, most people stop the instruction here. They escape side control, and that's it. But I haven't gained anything in jiu-jitsu, and if all I do is escape, eventually he's still going to be on the offense, and I will lose. So as soon as I open, there's a big problem if my partner pushes my knee back in. So we're here, he pushes the knee back in. You might have had this in training. What I can do is when I'm here, I'm going to hold this arm. I also like in no-gi to control the shoulder crunch here. Now if he wants to push the knee back, it's hard. I'll still be on my side, open up, and now from here I immediately want to re-attack. Maybe I weave in for a half butterfly. Maybe I want to go back A-B to close guard or to butterfly. Or if you're flexible, you lasso this one in, maybe in the gi, or start attacking here, create angles. But I want to immediately go back in any form of offense when I break open. So don't just stop there. Add those 3 to 5 seconds to get comfortable with re-attacking from your escapes. Now the final one in this variation is when my partner is so tight that his shoulder is all the way up on my chest and I cannot even bridge. He keeps my face in that direction and I want to get him a bit lower in the side control. Now there's no space for my grips to enter. I cannot move my partner. So what I will do, I will cup his shoulder, reinforce it with my other hand. Yeah, it's better to go underneath, but let's say there's no space. And now keep changing my voice. Yes, okay. So I'll cup it here and I will move myself on my shoulder blades. Now keep changing my voice. Put your shoulder up. He's stuck. And that's where my elbow slides back in. So it is hard for me to move my partner, but I can move myself. What I will do is I will cup the shoulder, both hands, my head goes up, and I walk my shoulder blades over the mat, just keep my partner here. Now he's low. If he wants to go back up with the shoulder, he's stuck, and I will get my frames in, and we're back to doing what we did. Just one time solo. As I'm here, there's also really good amount of escapes, is as I cup the shoulder, I will walk my shoulder blades up, just keeping my partner in place. I'm not pulling him down, I'm just keeping him in place and moving myself. I'm gonna slip out, get some space, we're back to reguarding, doing the same escape. Now these are a few ways we can get this reguard, this most fundamental basic escape. Let's do a different one. Now I don't really like this if my partner is heavier than I am, because it takes a lot of energy, but it's really good if I want to get a top position. If I bridge over, my partner has his left leg to base and he will not fall over. This is also a really good beginner's escape. A lot of people learn this in the beginning, is I need to trap that leg. Yeah? If my partner is too high, we just do the same thing. I walk him back down. I will trap the leg, I hope you can see it on camera, with my near side arm. As I trap it, I will bridge him over this shin. So I hope you can see it on camera. I will bridge it over this shin, and then I will kind of cartwheel over to side control on my end. So if he's too high, I walk myself up. I will bridge his shin. Don't do it too high, because you're gonna have a lot of trouble with your arm flexibility. Block it here, base with both feet, use the top body as well, bridge over, switch, and we're in side control here. Yeah? So if you want to see it again, just rewind. So that's another escape. It's good if you're strong, you have a lighter person on top, pop, you just bridge and surprise them. Sometimes I use it to chain, because in the end I think the best escape is chaining different escapes together. I use it to gain a reaction and do the different escape. Now next up, I will get my arm in, yeah, and I will weave it all the way through. This is one I really like on his hip. Yeah, I have to be careful here. My partner can switch up to north-south when this arm is passed, and there's a lot of different options. Yeah, sure. But what we're gonna do, this is Ghostway escape. Well, we did this on a video like 5 years ago. It's just a revision. As I'm here, I will face away, so my head comes underneath. And now what a lot of people try to do is just turn here, just turn on their stomach. And that works if your partner is half a potato, but I need you to shove yourself out underneath, so you can use your legs to kick or drag yourself over the mat. So first thing I do is I use both my arms, yeah? If this one is in front, it doesn't really matter, but I use both my arms, turn my head, and shove myself underneath. Only then do I turn towards my belly, get on my base, and start re-attacking. Now a good re-attack, if we just chain it together, could be, as I'm here, I get this Ghostway arm in, I slide under, and immediately chain it to a front headlock, like a dog. Different videos on that. There's a mirror lock there, there's an arm lock, but let's keep it short. Second one is the same principle, but the other side, is I now want to beat him to the underhook. Now I'm not opening my arm. You see the elbow position? He will walk it up for an arm triangle. What I want to do is I bridge over to that side to make him base the right hand. Boom. There. Then my arm goes underneath. Now you can go with the arm, or if you're afraid of the reweave to the darts, etc., you go with the elbow. So you see my elbows out there? As I look towards him, go out the back door and start wrestling up. Now in Disneyland I will get the back, but usually we'll overhook, I'll wrestle up to a single leg or anything from there. So I think those are the ones I wanted to cover. Yeah, there's some really fancy stuff here, which you might see on TikTok. For flexible people, if he's really low, you can grab your own foot, weave it in, extend, and all these fancy escapes into cool submissions. But I think the basics, like the basics, like the reguard and the reversals, those are the ones I want to show you. I think the Ghostway and the underhook escape are really good. And the final thing I want to tell you is if you have a hard time escaping side control, eventually you will get better at preventing side control. So you time your escape. Small example, if my partner passes the close guard, he opens up, I'll just do basic knee cut, yes. He goes here and I wait for him to get all the way in side control, go, 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 go. And now I'm gonna escape, yes, it's gonna be very hard. So what I want you to do is anticipate. Because when my partner starts passing the close guard, I know I'm losing the position. Yeah, he's opening up, knee cut, and as I feel him pass, keep passing, I'm already waiting for him to do this Ghostway escape or reguard, and I'm fighting for the next position. So I think the later escapes, like the Ghostway and Underhook escape, are harder, especially if you're super tight. But here's a tip for you: as you progress in jiu-jitsu, you're gonna anticipate moves and beat them in the transitions. Yeah, wait for them with that underhook, sorry, that near side underhook, that far side underhook, and beat them to the top position. I hope you guys enjoyed this basic video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment, let us know what you think, and see you in the next one. Oets!